What is going on, everybody? We are live, and this is Xbox Ultimate Podcast, episode number 225. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate each and every single one of you, as always. Shout out to some of the familiar names we already got here hanging out in the chat. Calorie was first. Shout out to Poison Maniac, always doing his thing. Berg Base Brizzle. We got Free Bear here hanging out also. Appreciate y'all. And yeah, we got, we already had a couple shows this week, but we got some more stuff to talk about. We're gonna go deeper into Speculation Town because we got a lot of speculators here today. It's good seeing all you guys. We got the one and only 3-Bit here hanging out. What's up, 3-Bit?
What's good, y'all? I've been I was just telling Jasper, I've been a fake gamer this week. I've played maybe it was like 10 minutes of South of Midnight before I had to get off. Because life happens. But I will finish that game this week, hopefully. Life has been really busy lately, but I'm glad to be here with everybody, and it's gonna be a good show. And actually, this is gonna be like me being informed also, one of these episodes, because I'm like,
is it gonna be where you're gonna ask us questions and stuff?
Yeah, probably.
I love those.
I'll be like, what is happening in this industry right now? Like, oh, really? Oh, it's gonna be one of those episodes.
Nice.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, shout out to you. Thanks for being here, man. It's always a surprise when you're able to hop in on an Ultimate, for sure.
Yeah, it's always a random, like,
yeah, here I am. Love it.
I'm here. Yep.
And we got the one and only Mr. Ray-Ban Smooth Topped Fuzzy Belvedere here hanging out. What's up, dude? I see the Ray-Ban on the side. I think this is Ray-Ban, does it? Okay.
Yeah. I when picking out my glasses, I decided I'd go with the Ray-Ban frames and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah, those are my old ones.
Is it recording right now? Is it one of those Ray-Bans?
No, it's not those. It's just regular frames. I went with like the tortoiseshell, and then the blue like screening thing. So since I'm looking at the computer screen a lot of time with these, it kind of doesn't wear on the eyes as much. But old eyes, I don't know if you can see the bifocal or whatever in them. They're getting stronger. I gotta get another pair. It's even stronger now. But glad to be here with you guys. haven't gamed that much, or as much as I'd probably like to. Although I did roll the credits for South of Midnight, um, visit AC Shadows, and still debating on if I should get a Switch 2. Not that I really like Nintendo, but I figure, get one, maybe get two, and then, sell the one to pay for the two. So, I don't know.
Yeah,
I might be that scalper
join the
guy.
scalper army. Yeah.
Love it, man. It was good to have you here as always, Fuzz. And the man from space, the one and only Lore Master Jasper. Actually, you're just Lore Jasper now, I think. Right?
On YouTube it's still Master, but
Okay.
Twitter it's always
Lore
been because you
Master
can't have-
Jasper.
Yeah.
You're here hanging out. What's up, Jasper? How's it going, man?
Anyway, yeah, I'm like 3-bit. I just played a little bit of South of Midnight today, and then I was like, I'm tired, so then I took a nap, and then didn't play anymore.
This is an interesting week.
Yeah. I think everybody's just crazy busy this time of year, right? I know for me, it's been crazy busy too. I haven't been able to play much, but I did, with the family here hanging out last night, we started Blueprints. Which, yeah, it was cool, man. It's a really cool concept for a game. After the show last night, we're hanging out in bed and stuff. We're like, too tired to pick something to watch, or whatever. And like, we've been wanting to check this game out, so let's just go ahead and do it and kind of play through it together and stuff. And yeah, it's cool. It's really different, I like when there's new experiences in gaming. This is like indie game that it's not really a point and click, because you're walking around and stuff and exploring, but it's also just a lot of strategy involved and one of those games where it's like your memory is going to come into a lot of play. So a lot of people are saying use a journal. Actually, in the game, it says use a journal. It's greatly advised there. Our version of a journal is screenshots. If we see something we need to remember, take a screenshot, and we can kind of go back through that. But yeah, dude, it's really, really cool game so far. So I think we're going to get into that quite a bit. It's still kind of early on, still with South of Midnight, but really enjoyed what I've played of it so far. I still need to finish Indiana Jones. I still need to finish Avowed. I still need to finish all these damn games, man. I am like 3/4 of the way through with most of them. And it's just like something else happens or comes out, and then I end up getting into that. Assassin's Creed Shadows, I'm still technically early into that, even though I spent more time on that than any of the others, So yeah, it's really cool having all these games come out. Although, like, same time, I don't know if I'm gonna get to finish any of them soon because this month just keeps having announcements of games, and we're gonna have potentially a shadow drop of a remake of one of my favorite games of all time next week.
I mean, that week was already going to be busy with Expedition 33 coming out. That's another probably 40, 50 hour game at least.
And I just because I've been too busy I haven't gotten Tempest Rising, which Pong's had a chance to play it yesterday, and that's was super high on my list. Like I need to dive into it. So there's that. We got Clair Obscur Expedition 33. You got Oblivion remake. And potentially even I think Towerborn's on the 29th also now as well, and I want to give that a go and give it a shot. It's just crazy, but the craziest thing is, guys, is there's still more unannounced games this year. As we've learned. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some of this other stuff. But again, yeah, thank you everybody for being here. We'll see if Pong can meander his way over here at some point. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it or not, but we'll see. But yeah, we're going to have some fun on this show. Y'all want to dive into just Phil's interview right away and get that over with? Oh,
wow.
Speak of the devil. Oh my God. He just waited
That's
till his
crazy timing.
name. It is crazy. He just waited till his name was mentioned, and he's like, "Okay, fine." They mentioned.
He's like,
I'll
"All right,
fucking
fine,
hop
all
in."
right."
I'm here. What's going on? Everybody hear me?
Yes, sir. What's up,
Yep.
Pong?
Yep.
Okay. All right. 3-bit. Is that a 3-bit sighting? I just talked about you last night. So the devil
What's
does
good?
show up. What's going on, brother? How the hell are you?
Miss it. Good. Busy.
Yeah. Yeah, I asked Mav last night if you were still alive. So
And I said, I don't know.
Yeah. I have to make sure myself. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
No, it's good to have you here as well, Pong Soul. What, have you been playing anything since last night? Have you dove more into some Tempest Rising?
no, I didn't get a chance to. I did pop on just briefly Lunar.
Oh
Real quick.
yeah.
So that came out today, and I picked that up. So I just popped that on. So yep,
Right on.
looking great.
Is it everything you remembered?
Yeah, the music, the animation,
Yeah.
it's all the same. Yeah, it's freaking nostalgia through the roof, and it's nice and crispy, and it's super smooth on. It's because it's remastered. It's the way it's supposed to be, right? So it looks beautiful. So it just pops. It's so old school JRPG. It's not even funny. Like just going into the first cave and having some of the turn-based battles again, and they've got auto battle in Lunar too, so you can auto battle if you really want to. But just experiencing that old school feel and like coming close to death because they don't pull punches in the old JRPGs. Your people are weak when you start out. So yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I thought about you when I saw that on Tidbits on Monday. I was like, but yeah, Pong's getting that one.
Yep.
Is that the game that had like the anime like cutscenes?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was amazing. Like if you weren't from back then, you don't know. But when Sega CD came out and Lunar Silver Star came out on Sega CD, and you had that CD quality music, and then we got the animation, the anime cutscenes like that, it was special, man. It was special. It's such a freaking great game.
Yeah,
I love that game. Yeah,
man, you're gonna get to really relive some nostalgia. First Lunar, and then next week Oblivion.
that's bro. That's what we were talking about last night. Like it's 2025. This is the golden age. We're getting all these games back that we never thought. We're getting games remastered, remade, and back. But then we're also getting all this new IP too, that just is phenomenal. Again, I'm not in the camp that gaming sucks now. There's a lot of people that are in that. I love so much of what's coming out now. So we're getting the best of everything. That's why I call it the golden age of gaming. So I'm overloaded right now, especially on the nostalgia map, because there's other stuff I want to play too. But it's like, I got Lunar, and then like we talked about last night, Oblivion is coming, and that's it. It's game over, man. That's gonna be 300 plus hours.
Yeah,
I know
man.
it is.
Oh, this is what I was talking about. Is like I don't know, like this is a grazer's nightmare, as far as or dream, right? If you don't get it, exactly. If you don't care, if you don't necessarily need to finish your games and stuff, you know what I mean? Like you're fine with it. But I do want to finish some of these, so it's absolutely crazy. And yeah, I think there's more announcements soon too of other things coming soon. And if we actually look at Phil's comments to Variety and about more surprises for this year. Like I've been thinking about it a little bit more because whenever they talk about unannounced games, like my interest is peaked. It's like this is where my brain starts churning and thinking a lot because I'm always looking for the next thing. And we already know so much about the roadmap for this year for Xbox, but when they tell us like on top of all this, there's more surprises. I'm thinking like, what could it be? Like, what could it be? And so then I start maybe over analyzing a little bit. Well, it's like, well, if they're holding it close to the vest, I'm thinking it might be something bigger. Because if it was something like smaller, actually, like maybe at this point they would have already revealed it. Where the Oblivion remake is a pretty big deal in my opinion.
They're underestimating it.
You think so? Yeah. So there's that. Then there's Call of Duty is a big deal. They haven't had those. And the only other reason I could think that like maybe it's something they haven't revealed yet that's for this year or a couple things is maybe they weren't 100% confident that it would hit 2025. So they were just kind of waiting, a little bit to have that announcement with the date. And maybe now with seeing him, I think maybe the confidence could potentially be there for that 2025 date. So I started to think about things about possibilities, and I kind of go back to your crazy guess, Pong, about Clockwork Revolution, as something like that off the wall. Because I keep seeing Exile always commenting on people's posts and stuff like that, So you could have like Clockwork Revolution, or you could have, maybe that Gears collection or anything. Because Jasper's usually the most negative Nancy here. I want to know, what do you think Phil was referring to when he talks about more games unannounced for this year, some surprises?
I don't know if it's a big game. Just because like I feel like a lot of big games we've kind of had like project names or like code names, and we've kind of heard the rumors about. I feel like most of the big games, and I feel like the insiders would know about it if there was some like big surprise thing coming out this year. So I'm leaning probably more towards smaller projects, like maybe Double Fine, stuff like that. That's kind of where I'm leaning with that comment.
Okay.
It's just a smaller
We've
game.
guessed that the last couple of years, the Double Fine thing,
Yeah.
you know. What if it was like, but even if it's Double
Perfect Dark.
Fine, it doesn't. Perfect Dark would be crazy. But even if it was Double Fine, it wouldn't necessarily have to be a smaller game. So let's say it was like
Well,
Brutal Legend 2. You know, do we consider that a smaller game, or do we consider that like, holy shit, that's going to be an exciting moment? You know?
I mean, I'll be excited for our fans, but for the
Yeah.
fans of it, right? I would be excited because I did like Brutal Legend, but I just think overall when you think of Double Fine, you do think of a little bit smaller projects. Like they don't. It's not.
You consider
all- I
Psychonauts?
mean,
Do you consider Psychonauts
No.
a small game?
Psychonauts is their biggest thing. Like
It's their biggest.
But like you could
game.
look at that compared to like Astrobot, which was like the thing for PlayStation the entire year, right? And like
Well,
it's really this. Which one's small?
I just feel like
you know, like
the-
neither of them.
I think
really.
we think that because
Agree.
the
But-
majority of Double Fine's like portfolio is like smaller games like the Broken Age, the Stacklings or whatever it was called, stuff like that. They used to put out a lot of those titles.
Costume
That
Quest.
was
Also-
pre-purchase though, right?
Yeah, but that was also when they
Decided-
were putting out games every year. You know what I mean? Like,
But that's also what they said is after they finished Psychonauts is they said they wanted to work on smaller projects for a while. So
it's true.
Oh yeah.
But
They
it's
did
been
say,
3 years.
like
4 years.
4 years.
So
like, you know what? Change your mind.
you know what I mean? If it was a smaller project like a Double Fine, you know, we're used to seeing those come out more frequently. And you know, there was the rumored Kiln game, you know, that had been kind of shown off as a tech demo type game before, or some kind of little showcase thingy where they're showing like different kinds of projects they're working on at some point, right? That would be a smaller game, of course, but there's no proof that that's what's happening or what they're coming out with, and that could just been a little thing that they were working on before that,
I mean,
you know.
also though, like if it was a big game coming out this year, where the fuck do they fit it? Like they would have to. I mean, I guess they could put out 2 games in 1 month. It's not like unheard of, but still,
And
if you have like a Fable and something other big like coming out at the end of the year, that's like I don't know.
Well, let's not forget that they are probably holding off to see what GTA 6 does, right? So they, again, Booty made it quite clear that they're aware and they're going to work around GTA 6. So I think there is some of that too, a little bit of game playing going. That's why I think that there's still a possibility that even though Fable moved, that In Exile and obviously Clockwork Revolution could drop into that slot where Fable was going to be this year, if GTA 6 doesn't line up toward to that spot or around that spot, which is why I think they could, like Phil's playing a little bit of holding some of the cards back right now. He's talking about it like, hey, we still got some things, but he's being very general about it. But I do think there's a possibility there could be a big one. So
Yeah. And I see this comment from Shane, says 0 reason to release a big game with all they announced, and Oblivion remake and COD, especially with GTA 6 coming, maybe something tiny. Right. I'm not in any way saying they need to.
no,
right?
no.
But
Well, give me all of them, but yeah, no,
right.
no.
But if we
Need is the word.
if we go back
I
to
just-
the FSP, like again, where we broke down 2025 possibilities of 2026, you know, like 2026 is going to be full of massive heavy hitters, and you're really not doing yourself any favors saying like, oh, we'll just wait till 2026, even if something's ready, you know. So I think it just depends on what's ready and what's not, ultimately, and that's going to be the question.
I think also that his comment can be kind of taken in another way where it can be hard to decipher. Where we know Xbox is putting their games on PlayStation now, and they haven't announced those. So, like, is he including those in the unannounced Xbox games coming out this year? Like if they just put like, I don't know, fucking Halo or some other random game on PlayStation.
Mm,
Like it's not
Or
announced, but
where-
yeah, but I don't know if they consider that like a new game announcement. You know what I mean? Like, I think I get what you're saying, unless it was like the Gears collection, which is like, hey, these are
yeah.
past games that are brought up to current day standards that are then releasing also on PlayStation. They could do like Halo 1 remake or Master Chief collection with some kind of you know, massive update or upgrade to that. Like maybe Halo 3 gets like a big kind of overhaul or something when they do that. Lots of different kind of possibilities with it. But what do you think, Fuzz? What does he get? What is he getting into with these announcements that we don't know about? It he had to walk in his mind to make sure he didn't leak some.
Mhm. It it's gonna sound like it's ill-timed, but I still think we get to see Forza Horizon 6. Like, I know it would be weird to
Yeah.
show it at the June showcase, considering it just releases in like a couple of days on PlayStation. But maybe that's that inspiration for them to get Series S to at least play Forza Horizon 6 instead of waiting a couple of years like they had to do for 5. So maybe we get to see 6 since, as Xbox players, we've been playing it for 4 years, 5 years now. So we get the new one, towards the end of this year. And the other part of Playground will release Fable next year. So it kind of clears their slates. Like originally I thought Forza Horizon 6 would be next year while Fable is this year, but maybe Forza Horizon 6 is ready now. So they've had
It'd be
plenty of
crazy
time
for
to
all the
work on it.
PlayStation guys, like, because they're all been so excited for Forza Horizon 5, and they're like, "Yeah, we got it!" And they're all getting these review copies right now, and they're all like celebrating, and it's weird seeing like, "Thank you Xbox for the review copy of Forza Horizon 5." So you see these accounts, like I think it was MBG and
Mhm.
I saw a couple of others, that are just PlayStation guys, right? That have just done nothing, or a lot of them have done nothing but shit on Xbox for a long time, right? And be thanking Xbox for a review copy of their game for their PlayStation. So we're seeing that actual trend happen now. I'm curious what the overall long-term impact for that's going to be. The more that keeps happening, and these PlayStation guys keep celebrating Xbox releases. Um, it could have a mental mind effect in general, just on the brand,
Yeah.
and the quality,
Yeah.
the way people view the games, right? But yeah, it would be strange. Forza Horizon 5, they're all celebrating that, and then Forza Horizon 6 gets announced, and hey, you guys don't get it. The same year that you got Forza Horizon 5, the Xbox guys are all getting Forza Horizon 6. Because they wouldn't sell Forza
Yeah.
Horizon 5 and 6 the same year, I don't think, on PlayStation. That would just be,
No,
that would be
that
weird.
that would
Yeah.
yeah, there would be a few people that would try to see about getting refunds or something like that. Be like, no, 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 I want the newest one, kind of thing. But
I mean, could it be Motorsports going to PlayStation?
mm, I don't
For some
know.
reason, I can't see Motorsport coming to PlayStation for a while. For some reason, but
Yeah, because it's still
I
got
could be wrong.
some stuff that they got to release for on the Xbox platform as far as some of the stuff that missed from launch. But I mean, they could put it out there. I don't think it's going to have as much excitement in comparison. Most of those are going to be like diehard GT7, fans over there. Um, as far as what Forza would do in comparison, yeah, they would get possibly a better visual on lower, like the regular PS5 type of deal, but I don't foresee it doing as well, considering. But Forza Horizon 6 coming to Xbox this year, while PlayStation gets Forza Horizon 5. Maybe they get 6 next year or the year thereafter or something along those lines. But give them a taste of 5. Maybe they'll be hungry enough to pick up a Series S and get it that way, or play it on their PC or tablet or whatever type of deal. But I, I, I could kind of see it happening, but it would feel like a slap in the face, which,
Yeah.
maybe that's Phil's intention at that point. But yeah, I could see it coming out this year. Fable comes out next year, so that clears the slate for, Playground Games to start on their, next project or whatever that might be, kind of thing. But yeah, that's I think that would be one of the ones that Phil would be double checking to make sure he didn't slip up and say something. Because they kind of did that when Jason Ronald made mention on ILP about his most anticipated game hasn't been announced yet. So it's like I could see them holding their cards tight to the chest on that one for a bit longer.
Yeah. Right on, man. Yeah, we'll have to see. I didn't even think about the possibility for Forza Horizon. Calorie in the chat made a good point. Any chance of the leaked global publishing games already, like Project Dragon, Wu-Tang Game, 1 vs 100, Killer Instinct 2, or I don't know, like Killer Instinct 2 was a rumor. I don't say it was leaked. I think the Wu-Tang game was more like a concrete thing. The Project Dragon was a more concrete thing, especially also because it was part of the leaks from the FTC documents. 1 vs 100, I think, was more of a rumor as well.
Yeah.
But there's some other ones too. Contraband. There's
Yeah.
the Project Buena Suerte or whatever from Certain Affinity. There's a few others out there that actually had some kind of leaked project names and stuff from different teams. And all of those could be, because a lot of those have been in the works for a very long time, or rumored
I
to
mean,
be.
Everwild's been in the works for a while, so they could have changed the name on that and just like made it a new game now.
Never
don't know.
Wild.
Everwild?
Never.
What did I say? Neverwild?
Ever? No, you said it right. I'm just calling it
uh,
Never Wild. Never Wild. 3-bit. What you thinking, man? What do we got?
Well, before Calorie stole my answer, I was thinking Wu-Tang game. I've been following like the team Brass Lion just on LinkedIn, just like following their posts, just seeing what they're doing. They keep saying they're making this action RPG game. They did have recent layoffs. I think it was like 13 people got laid off at Brass Lion. As they say they're realigning with this new game, whatever
That
it
could
is,
mean that
whatever.
they're closer to launch as well. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like if
Yeah,
it happens sometimes.
yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like maybe this is. I know it's a weird thing, but maybe it's a sign that it's getting closer to us. Maybe marketing. So I don't know. We've been hearing about this potential game for a while, so I hope that is true. And then like I think this interview, I don't know when it was filmed, but maybe it's Gears, maybe it's the Oblivion. Oblivion could be that game, that sort of hidden game. It's weird. This game, this year has so many just different games coming out. Like I'm not really, I barely have time for South of Midnight. I'm trying to beat that game. Just started AC Shadows, kind of. Just so many games this year, but it's weird.
And
I'm
3-bit's trying to
also
beat it. He's 10 minutes in. You'll get there eventually.
no, I'm pretty far in.
To
I'm
South of
like,
Midnight?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you
It's
said
just
earlier
like,
you only played it for 10 minutes. Okay, I misheard you.
yeah. I mean, on that chapter, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay,
Um,
got you.
but no, I'm getting there. But yeah, I feel like Gears of War is a possibility. Halo coming to the Switch too. I think they just had an article today where it's talking about like we're still kicking with Switch 2 and stuff. So I'm sure they're gonna have some announcement soon with like which games they're planning on releasing for the Switch 2, whether that's Forza or maybe the next Halo. I'm sure they're just gonna want to do some partnership there because it's a good opportunity. A lot of people have eyes on the Switch 2 right now, so I can see Xbox just trying to use that strategically to try and do something there. So, yeah, and then I think Pong or someone mentioned like GTA is still the thing that people are just eyeballing right now. Like, I wouldn't want to release a game unless I knew the exact date. And it's funny that Take Two knows that, or Take whatever. They know that, so they're keeping it kind of close to their chest too, because marketing wise, it helps them just kind of releasing the game not too far away from their marketing material. So we'll see. We'll see. I think Oblivion is probably maybe the game he was thinking of when he was in this interview.
Yeah, somebody in the chat made a good point about when the interview was done versus when the leaks came out. Like because
Yeah.
the leaks came out more recently than maybe when
Mhm.
he sat down for that interview. So that could have some impact on the way that we perceive what his comments. You know what I mean?
Because Minecraft the movie hadn't launched yet
Mm-hmm.
in that interview because they were asking him about Minecraft upcoming and the movie upcoming and blah blah blah. So
Right.
it was
Yeah,
prior
because
to
those
that, which would've
Oblivion
been prior
remake
to release.
rumors
Yeah.
started like they've been around for a long time, but they really the last like 2 weeks or so really started firing off even more. So that would make some sense too if that was one of them for sure.
I was also about to kind of go down a similar thing that Pong just mentioned. The It's almost a guarantee that Minecraft is going to end up on the Switch too. Like I know that's not like a big announcement, but it's still something that's not officially out there. But I mean, it's like almost a guarantee that they'll put Minecraft there.
If Minecraft's not on
Yeah,
the
I mean,
Switch currently?
It is, but like they'll probably make a Switch 2 edition or whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that I mean, when 3-Bit was talking about this stuff too, is like I thought about the Switch part, right? Because there's another Switch showcase coming soon. I think it's in May, if I'm not mistaken.
I think there's supposed to be like one like every couple months at least.
So where they're gonna have more of their well, that was supposed to be their first party show.
Yeah.
So the first one was supposed to be the third party stuff and the hardware reveal, but maybe they have another third party show later on because there's going to be a lot of people wanting to get their info out about Switch releases, so they'll probably have a couple more directs. But it wouldn't surprise me if Xbox had it. Let's say it is Double Fine's game or something like that, right? That it is a Switch day and date game as well as Xbox, and they could choose to like reveal something for the first time actually at a Nintendo event because they didn't want to necessarily get it lost in the shuffle at their June showcase with everything else that they got to show.
Well, didn't they showed off, was it GoldenEye, right? The remake for that at Nintendo.
Yeah, but Nintendo that's part
I
of that's
know,
because
'cause it was-
Nintendo has
yeah.
already had like some stake in that and stuff. But they did show up with Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 at the Nintendo event, right? So we know they're willing to show games off at the Nintendo events, of course, and we actually expected them to have a bigger presence at that event than they did. So if there's more events coming up, then maybe we could see one of these other games at whatever event that is. If it's one of those smaller games, like, but then Alvin in the chat reminded me as well. We're sitting there talking about Everwild earlier this year on New Year's. Remember Rare made that like New Year's post and it had like the Everwild
oh
like
yeah.
I was like, remember if it was a logo or what for Everwild on it. And we speculated back then. It was like, what does that signify? You know what I mean? Because they never talk about it, and all of a sudden now it's like that for the new year. Does that mean that this is the year of Everwild potentially?
That's what, like, I was kind of looking it up before I mentioned it earlier in chat. Like, the last comment they made about it was like, we're on track to maybe release in 2024.
Right.
Hmm.
So maybe late 2025. You know. And is that a big game? Is it a small game? I mean, we don't even know what it is right now. But anything from Rare, especially something that they've been working on for so long, would be considered probably a pretty big announcement. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But and I'll just throw a shot in the dark again, guys. ZeniMax Online. I don't know, when the time is to launch whatever they have coming, but it seems overdue for their other game. So I think Xbox knows that they have this problem. Like, go back to Matt Booty's comments a couple years ago about the biggest problem is we just have so much that it's going to be lining things up. And well, we could say, well, they have some surprise announcements or some unannounced things. We've already got surprise announcements for this year: Ninja Gaiden, Tony Hawk, if the Oblivion remake happens, that's 3 pretty damn big things that we had no previous knowledge of, except for maybe some rumors and stuff before this year.
Yeah.
And we already thought 2025 was going to be loaded. And when he's sitting there saying that there's more potentially, there could be a couple things, and I don't know what it's going to be, but there's a million possibilities with Xbox right now. Could be a partnered game that we've never even heard of or has never been rumored before.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we got the June showcase coming up. So, I mean, the Nintendo showcase. When is that partner
Hmm.
the partner event? When is that?
For Nintendo, I don't know.
Yep. Hmm.
They talked about there was another showcase coming, another direct, but I don't remember when it
Yeah.
was. But it wasn't going to be too far away after that one. It was like a couple months or a month away, I think, from that showcase. When is it supposed to launch? Did y'all remember? Anybody? Switch 2? Was it?
June 5th,
So it's got to be
I
before
think.
then.
Yeah.
Was it May? I thought it was
Yeah,
May.
I got it.
No, June 5th is when the Switch comes out. I thought that's what you were asking.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
so I'm saying the other direct
Yeah.
would be before then, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So Nintendo Direct
Oh yeah, June 5th.
Showcase. I mean, they haven't announced the date for it, I don't think, yet. But
Yeah, I mean, I would assume there would be a direct before it comes out again. I just keep seeing everything about the old direct, but
yeah.
And I agree with Calorie. We really do need an Excel spreadsheet that has every studio's project broken up by the teams. Yeah, yeah. Because like it's kind of up there. We're thinking about all the teams Xbox has, and they have so many studios now. We think about like the Coalition, the projects that they're working on. Ninja Theory still has the project with that they're doing after Hellblade. I forgot the code name of it. It just goes on and on. Like they have so many teams at this point, and
I mean,
kind
we
of up
didn't even
here.
really go down the fucking Bethesda Activision rabbit hole. Who knows what they
I mean,
could
yeah,
have.
that's the whole thing. Um, Contraband, yeah. So Poison mentioned contraband. Yeah, there's so much that they could do. Like, I mean, it's a good boat to be in though, because they could decide um when to release these games and give studios not as much pressure. Like, I feel like where the boat they was in before, just having Halo, Gears, and Forza was just this constant pressure for these games to deliver and but now they have a lot of different studios. What is this? Okay. The partner showcase. Man, I keep getting different dates. But I only brought it up because I figured maybe that could be the time where Xbox releases something there. Uh, some smaller game.
Yeah, Calorie said, did you guys notice for the June showcase, Xbox said in addition to incredible new titles from our third-party partners across the globe, so they could have some good world premieres from third party. Yeah, I'm expecting that. I mean, Xbox show is a big event now. Every year it's usually like the premiere showcase. It's the best one. That because they have so much, and they've had numerous big titles there from big. I wouldn't be surprised, even though the Call of Duty thing, if Battlefield doesn't show up at it, because they've had a history of doing that before. I wouldn't be surprised if there's not something from Square Enix there, some kind of new game reveal now that they have a closer relationship. Sega could show up with another big thing as well. There's lots of possibilities of big third party Game Pass day one games as well. You never know about that. So I think the showcase is like it's probably going to be the biggest one they've ever had. If we say that every year, but it's really lived up. Ever since 2022, every showcase has been better than the last, right? So I think that's going to be the case again for this year because 2025 and 2026, just the slate of games is insane. So overall, it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on. But yeah, Phil's comments were specifically just to clarify. For us, this was the question on the gaming side. What titles are you most excited about for the rest of the year? For us and the rest of this calendar year, I really feel great about the state of games. We just had Avowed come out, and I have to go backwards and just say Obsidian continues to do a great job. We've obviously talked about the Outer Worlds 2, which that'll be the featured game for the big direct after the showcase. South of Midnight, Doom. There's more stuff, some stuff that's unannounced, and I'm walking in my head to make sure I don't leak anything. So,
Okay.
like, I don't know what to make of it, guys. I mean, for me, if that's more than just Oblivion remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with him saying he's
Oh, there goes Jasper was talking about this before the show. How his just Discord just randomly freezes in the middle of him talking. He looks like he's whistling though.
Yeah, they got the Jasper. He was about to leak it, and then they're like, "All right, get him."
100%.
Pull the plug.
Yep.
Jasper does have that inside information because he is able to hack the satellites of all these companies and get all the goods. But I mean, is that more than Oblivion remake to you guys, or is it just Oblivion remake? I mean, not saying that it's small.
Okay,
but
I mean, my first gut feeling was it was like a like an Oblivion, which people think will be. I think they think it's going to be small, but a lot of people have love for the franchise, so I feel like they should reconsider.
Does Phil know how big of a deal that might be?
I don't think they think it's small. I think they just know that it's already been a thing, so there's no reason to like super market it and stuff.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just feel like that's such a
But like,
big
PlayStation's
game.
like Demon Souls remake. You know what I mean? It's like, and everybody freaks out and shits their pants.
Well, they hype up fucking remakes that are 6 months old. So
right.
I don't know what you
exactly.
Oh man,
you're underselling Oblivion here, Jasper. I mean, again, I understand, kid. Age difference here. Like Oblivion is one of the GOATs of all time, right? They are under why Sky Oblivion, which is just a fan made remake in the Skyrim version of Creation Engine, is getting hype. Like especially on the PC side of things. Like this is a bigger release than they are making it out to be, if this is just going to be an announcement and a shadow drop next week, right? If they announce it next week and they put it out, let's say they say coming in May, right? Give it a date in May. And they kind of lead up, then I'd say, okay, well, they're definitely understand that this is a bigger deal than what they're saying. But if they just announce it next week and shadow drop it, I totally think they are underestimating what Oblivion means to a bunch of people. And from the screenshots we've seen, they can call a remaster all they want to. This is a remake. People are going to be clamoring for this thing. Now, you're not going to make everybody happy, but I think that you're talking about millions of people here. We're not talking about a small little, oh, this is cute, they're bringing back Oblivion, and a few 100,000 people are going to pick it up. Like, no, like this is going to be a massive kind of deal where a lot of people, you're going to see your game list, your player list on Xbox, especially since it's going to be in Game Pass. It's going to be a lot of people playing Oblivion. Like, it's going to be kind of crazy.
I totally agree. I just think that with it already being a known thing, like I don't see if they think there's a reason to actually push it as much, because they're like, oh, everyone already knows about this shit.
But no, bro, no, because I to me they should be, because they're selling it. They're going to be selling it on PlayStation, and I assume this is also going to come to Switch too, right? I'm assuming this is also going to come to Switch too. But they're selling it on PlayStation. They're selling it on PC for all the people who don't have PC Game Pass, which is still a large portion because there's so many Steam players. So you're still talking about they're going to have a deluxe edition and a regular edition. That tells me like there's some effort, like really thought about this. Like I would have thought that they would have like some kind of lead up. Like I'm happy if the channel drops next week. I'm more than happy. But I'm just saying that I do think they're underselling themselves if they're not going to have some type of advertising around it and lead up to the launch. Like I really do.
So
that's all.
Grub, according to Grub, this is next week, right? And
Yep.
There's a partner showcase next week that they have as of yet to right now announce, right? So I'm assuming that this would be dropped at that partner showcase.
It'd be massive, yeah. I mean, it'd be the big thing, probably.
But if they're willing to do that at a partner showcase, it's pretty fucking crazy in and of
Oblivion
itself.
is their seconds.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
The only other reason I could think that maybe they don't want too much attention on it right now is just because Doom comes out next month and it's another Bethesda game, and they're just like, well, this is our new shit.
Well, I mean, again, common sense doesn't work in this industry. Like, we try to do this all the time and try to put ourselves in the things that make sense to us don't make sense to the executives at the top of these places, like tons of times, right? It's weird, but you could possibly be right, Jasper. I'm not like, now that you said that could be a thought that goes around. Like, it'd be weird to me, but it won't be the first time that I would think that they did something that was super strange. But you're not wrong. It could be because Doom is right around the corner. It could be because Avowed just dropped. It could be a lot of different things, right? But this deserves its own shine. Like, it's really nuts that they're not. If it goes down, we're gonna find out next week. I'm just so hyped for it. It really does deserve its own.
Again, the interesting verbiage of remaster, according to the screenshots that we saw.
Yes.
Right, like and Brett Bingham says in the chat, and he's tagging you on. It says remake versus remaster only relates to the scope of work actually done. No casual will mark the difference of remake versus remaster. Both are remasters, but one requires more work than the other. I think everything but gaming has been really clear on what a remaster and remake is. Like, if you look at a movie, okay, a remastered thing is like, hey, we take the original source material and we enhance it. Okay, now it might have
add like a 30-second cut clip
or
into
put
it or some
4K.
shit.
Yeah, they might put some lost footage into
clean it up.
They might improve the audio experience, remaster the audio, and
check.
Yeah, and now we're like, oh wow, it's brought to life in a new way, and that's like a remaster, right?
Right.
But putting something that's old and helping it reach modern day standards and improve it, yeah. But a remake is like, okay, we're remaking a RoboCop. You know what I mean?
Right.
But there was an original RoboCop. There's a new RoboCop. Yeah, exactly.
Doom movies.
Doom. Yeah, exactly. And it's like something completely new, right?
Right.
And that's why I always say the Resident Evil ones are good examples of that, because even though it's telling the same story, like, those are brand new games that look completely different. You know what I mean? So, and you have some remakes that can stay truer to the original, right? Even in the movies, you know. Hey, guess what? In music, there's a lot of remakes. We just call them covers. You know what I mean?
I mean, what would you call Days Gone or Horizon?
Days Gone? That's a remaster.
That's a definitive edition. That's not even a remaster.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets into that weird.
That's an enhancement. That's a free. That's what should have been a free update. That's what that is.
I mean, you're not wrong, but what are they calling it though? Are they saying this is the?
They called it remastered.
They're calling it $10.
$10 upgrade.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree.
For me, that's an enhancement. Like, we got, like, how many games got those free enhancements when we switched generations this gen? Ubisoft did it with most of their games. EA did it with most of their games. Xbox did it with most of their games. Some games charged for it. Sony charged for it, right? Nintendo was the worst. They fucking did the shittiest job and charged full price and locked it behind 3 months for old Mario or old Zelda games.
It was Super Mario collection.
Yes, Mario one. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say the only one that charged on Xbox, I think, was Control, and that was because of 505 of the publisher or something like that, where they made you buy Control, the updated edition or something like that. They weren't allowing like the free upgrade.
Yeah, that was
how I remember it.
Yeah, but that's not an Xbox made game. That's just them, you know, like
Yeah.
You know, the different publishers would decide how to handle that. You know, remember the whole smart delivery and all these kind of things. You know, some publishers were updating their games for free. Some of them wanted to charge for it. That's basically what it is. And so those aren't really even remasters to me. Those are just like Jasper said, definitive editions or like enhancements. Like a remaster would be like closer to, you know, like you could say like The Last of Us. You know, like the
Like which one?
both of them really.
Yeah.
The PS3 to PS4, the PS4 to PS5, or the PS4 to PC, or the PC to more PC? I guess I don't know.
But both of those are
They
really
do like
remasters.
eight
You know,
remasters.
one of them they put a little bit more work into, so you know they called it a remake, but it's really not. Like they didn't remake the game. You know, um, you could look at what we saw with Oblivion, and it's got completely new assets. You know,
That's a remake. They switch fucking engines.
right? Like it just looks completely different from what we see in those screenshots. I mean, obviously we got to see more when it's revealed. You know,
I didn't see the screenshot.
oh my god, like it's crazy. Like the lighting is completely different. The world looks completely different. The landscape looks different. The character designs are different. They recreated the areas. So maybe they could call it Oblivion recreated. Like, would that be better than fucking remaster or remake? I don't know.
That's kind of the reason why I like what they did with Halo and Age and stuff, where they said like retold or anniversary. Like they kind of avoided those
Yeah.
fucking generic terms like remake and remaster that no one has any idea what the fuck they mean anymore.
Well, because the
Yeah.
developers don't,
Yeah.
you know? Like again, I mentioned this numerous times, but when Ubisoft in that blog post announced what they're doing with Splinter Cell, how it was setting the foundation for the future of the franchise, like that's a fucking reboot. You know, it's not a remake, that's not a remaster, that's a reboot. You know, so if they were calling it a remake, but that leads people to think of, because Last of Us used that word,
Yeah.
it's going to be something as simple as just the same exact experience but enhanced, because they sabotage the fucking word remake to limit the expectations for the gamers, right? The interesting Mass Effect, they didn't use any of the verbiage. They just called it the Legendary Collection.
Yeah.
So
Maybe that's what they need to do. Oblivion and Legendary something.
I don't know if
Collection.
each one they may specify or whatever, but yeah, it's interesting. I think this is Oblivion looks more like a remake than a remaster. So, but
do we know what it's actually called yet, or we just?
according to the leaked stuff for the screenshots, it's called remaster
It is remaster. Okay, that's what I was wondering.
with all new everything. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand. I think it's an industry confusion thing. I don't know why they can't get it right when every other industry can.
I feel like it's probably they just looked at analytics, like what word trends better, and they're like remaster trends better.
Really? You think that's what it is?
Probably.
Because the word
Yeah.
master is in it?
It's
No,
probably
just-
just
I don't
like
know.
some analytic thing. They're like, well, this one trends more.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I mean, that's a good thought,
Or
actually,
search
Jasper.
on Google.
Yeah, what should we call this? They used AI to determine the name. So yeah, it's interesting to see anyway what we could get for surprises. The Oblivion one will be a huge thing. I agree that they could have marketed it if they wanted to they could have announced this thing 2 years ago and people would still be
Yeah.
excited for it to come out this year and it'd even have more hype. But shadow drops are cool too, man. So but we'll see, like sometimes the shadow drops are harder to get people to buy right away because they weren't anticipating it and they already have other games that they've already like been looking forward to. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it does. But April this month is just fucking crazy releases, and we never usually get to say April is busy with releases. You know,
Bro, they're gonna sabotage their freaking partner if they just like shadow drop it next week.
well, what day is the Clair Obscure Expedition? Is the
24th, I
24th?
think. Yeah, 24th.
A couple days before.
Oh yeah.
which they're even announced a giveaway for a custom Xbox for that today. So I retweeted that. Anybody, you can go and try and win that custom Xbox. Looks pretty sick. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I saw this actually in our DMs just a little while ago, guys, and Jason Ronald made a post, and I actually kind of thought it was a little interesting, and kind of leads into Speculationville as well, because he had made this post, and I'm gonna bring it up and read exactly what he said. He said, "A great visit with partners in China and Korea." I remember just recently where there was talks about them meeting with, taking basically like different proposals from Korean developers and on StarCraft, a partnership and stuff. That was something that was rumored recently. But he said, great visit with partners in China and Korea to discuss the future of gaming. Leaving inspired by the incredible creativity, innovation, and passion from developers. Amazing games coming from some of the best creators in the world. Then this is what kind of got me to Speculation Town, because he ended this with, can't be more excited for the future of Xbox. So we have the rumors that came out recently. We have, Jason Ronald saying this. We know that Phil's been doing work over there as well, because, hey, Ninja Gaiden 4 is a thing happening this year that we found out he's been trying to get off the ground since 6 years ago. Sarah Bond's been making lots of relationships. We know that they've been working a lot in Japan, this specifically about Korea and China, right? We know that they've been doing work with China recently as well, with the Hoyoverse, trying to get their games on Xbox as well. And they've had some success now, because we got Zenless Zone Zero as well as Genshin Impact on Xbox, and maybe more to come. But when he says this, and he says, can't be more excited for the future of Xbox after having those meetings with partners in China and Korea. Well, we know China is also Wusheng Fallen Feathers, right? Which is a partner game coming out this year. And they also made an announcement of a giveaway today for guessing the release date as well. So reposted that. If you go and try and guess the release date, follow them, all that stuff, you have a chance to win a copy of their game. So you have China, then you have Korea. Now, I was trying to think about the partnership in Korea that they could have.
Well, I mean,
And I
they've
was
had
trying to rack my brain
previous.
around which games they could be.
I was just gonna say, like, previous partnerships. Maybe that can help you lead into some game thoughts. But like, they've previously partnered with Krafton to bring PUBG over to Xbox first.
Mhm.
They've had some partnerships with, like, I think Nexon's the one that makes it. The kart racing drift thing that they put in Game Pass like last year, whatever.
Yeah.
So there's some stuff like that in Korea. But
Yeah, but would that have Jason Ronald being more excited than ever for the future of Xbox?
well, I mean, whatever they're developing next.
Right. Which, I don't know, man. Like, so we've seen out of Korea so far, numerous games get announced in recent years, right? Their past Korea partnership didn't work out so well with Crossfire X.
Man,
That was
that hurt. That hurts, man. That hurts.
that was one that, we were like, oh, that looks crazy, and then that game, that just didn't.
Because they said all the right things. They're like, oh, we're getting the people who did Control. Oh, we're also gonna make it like a first person shooter. It's gonna have the physics and everything. I'm like, all right, cool. And then that game came out, and there's parts of it that I like. I'm not gonna lie, but it was
Yeah, I liked
not
it because it was easy
not
because
what I
no one
expected.
could figure out the controls,
You
and I'm
just
like, okay, just go.
you would go behind the spawn and just stand there and wait for people to spawn and just mow them
It
down.
was pretty broken. Yeah, it was broken, but I had a fun time with it, regardless. But it was not what I was expecting for sure.
Steele said he'd argue that Oblivion wouldn't overshadow Clear Obscure. Maybe. I mean, Clear Obscure's got a lot of hype right now. So, I mean, it's definitely has a lot of people
it's
looking
hard
forward
to
to it.
say.
It would still be weird to
It
have.
is different enough.
two the same week though. You know what I mean? At the same time, like both RPGs, one your own game, one partner game. You know, one that your partner game you've been hyping for a while. So I think yeah, they can both be successful, but like you are kind of taking a little bit of the shine away from both based on releasing at the exact same time. You know, within a couple days of each other, but we'll see. But then Steele is also getting into his Hoyo
Gotcha
talk.
games, yeah.
What he said, Wuthering Waves coming sooner than later. Was that a Hoyoverse game or was that a different?
I don't know.
It might be different.
I think Wuthering Waves. Steele would know.
Yeah, I don't play those things, so.
Zenless Zone Zero is pretty good.
That one turn based? I don't, or is Honkai Star Rail the turn based one?
Honkai
Star
Rail
Rail's
is turn-based.
turn-based, yeah.
Whichever one's turn based, I might give a shot. But these are all on mobile and stuff too, right? Can't you just play? Can't
Yeah.
you even play these with a controller on mobile? I think.
You probably can, yeah.
I see people going back and forth for which one will overshadow the other, but I think Oblivion would wipe the floor with Expedition, in my opinion.
Right.
It already has an established fan base and stuff. I know there's hype for Expedition 33, and it looks great, but Oblivion has been out for so long; it's in like people's hearts and brains.
Also,
you
just
know,
the Elder Scrolls name carries a lot.
that too. Yeah. So
right. So you know,
I feel like
shout out to Shane G in the chat for pointing this out though too. Is like he said, Ronald is a hardware guy. I'm thinking more on hardware side than software. But where I see that at, Shane, is if Jason Ronald's meeting with these teams, it's probably to talk to them about what's in the future for Xbox hardware
Or
and platform.
it could be, yeah, I was gonna say it could be platform, like getting
It's
Game Pass on
directly
these other
showing them
services.
Xbox
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
It's they are in that sell mode now. We know that for a fact. Like that's what they're out proving. So I guarantee you, Ronald is out there worldwide, getting the devs comfortable, at least more comfortable with what they're going for here in the near future, right?
Well,
When they
I'm not even.
launch. So
See, I was
I think
thinking
it's
more like, especially like the Korea side of things. You have like the biggest TV manufacturers there, Samsung and LG and
Right.
stuff like that. And we already know that we've seen those partnerships. So like maybe they're showing them again, like, hey, this is kind of what we're working on now. So like you can get ready to put it on your next TV, and also expanding into the Chinese market with a lot of their kind of own TV brands and shit, wherever they make over there.
right. And but I think Ronald is really trying to sell the Xbox Anywhere, because they're going to want those Eastern devs on board with it, right? And he's probably showing them from a technical side, the what I want to say, the forecasting that they're doing from a technical side of how many people they can reach, right? And how it's going to break down barriers, because this is their full mode now. This is what they're into. So they are trying to show these devs of why it's going to be beneficial for them to agree to do deals to bring their game potentially. And again, we're just kind of look at the crystal ball and everything that's been said. They bring their game that is going to get bought once but be played on multiple devices across a whole wide spectrum, right? Whereas that's not the normal selling process for devs right now. And I think that's something we talked about when they started bringing this up. That is going to be the convincing point, right? Is how, you got to convince the devs that not having it sold on PC, a copy there, a copy on the console, a copy on the phone, whatever the case may be, is a good thing, and why that's going to be beneficial. So I think Jason Ronald's helping with that tech too, and showing how they can reach more customers going this route, and why it's not just going to be one-sided for everybody. It's not, it's not going to be just the gamers who only have to buy one copy and get all the benefits. It's going to benefit the devs and the publishers themselves as well, for the reason that it's going to be a bigger audience that they have access to immediately, and it's going to entice more people to try their games if it is available that way. So I think that is part of Ronald's job now as well. But I agree with you there. It's probably a dual kind of thing, because there is a lot of TV manufacturers over there. I'm sure he's visiting everybody right now.
Yeah.
All
TVs, phones, they all come from over
all
there.
of it.
So it's
right,
like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
And his new promotion of being VP of Next Generation, yeah, he's
Right.
definitely looking into that.
Yeah, I think
And
he's
then he gets to look
probably
at the new game.
yeah, maybe they got it some partners in China working on some stuff. They got some partners in Korea working on some stuff, and he's like, yeah, like here's our new what we're releasing for the generation and where our platform's going to be like, and getting their feedback, you know, that kind of stuff, you know, and trying to sell them on making sure that they continue to make games for Xbox and get more games from that region onto the platform by selling it, right? And I'm guessing the meeting went well, you know, because if they were like, "No, fuck you, we're not putting the games on that shit," he'd have been like, I don't think he would have said, "Can't be more excited than ever" after that meeting, you know. So, well, we'll see how it goes, man. But it's just I found it interesting a little bit, but I think Fuzzy probably has some good insight on this. What is Ronald, Mr. Good old Jason Ronald, doing with this China Korea partner meeting? Is he excited about how their response was to hardware? Is he excited about games coming to the platform? What do you think?
Well, there's a couple of things. He's looking at it from the standpoint to get them used to the hardware, the current hardware, as well as upcoming hardware. Think of it like what they ran into. It was that Chinese room or something science or whatever, the ones that did Wukong, because they had problems, quote unquote, with the Series S. And we've heard other developers claim that they've had issues with the Series S. But having somebody that can kind of talk them through some of the stuff that they may be expecting on hardware versus what their dev kits will do, he's probably one of the better individuals to have there for them in case if there's any tech questions. And much like you guys said, the vision stuff as far as the play anywhere, making sure that the cloud stuff as far as the cloud save is able to reach mobile devices, whether it's phones, tablets, the current Xbox as well as upcoming Xbox as well as the TV and so forth. Being able to show how that works flawlessly, kind of like the interview he did shortly after, I guess it was GDC or something like that, where the biggest complaint that he has about games that aren't play anywhere is that you play it on your let's say your PC, and then you go on the road, and now you have to if you didn't carry the save over to the portable PC, if it wasn't a play anywhere or if it didn't have like a cloud save contingent to it, you basically have to start all over or start your progress all over. So to make it easier for them to see the benefits of like multiple entitlements for one purchase, because trying to convince somebody to make a double dip or a triple dip as far as buy it for PC, buy it for console, buy it for mobile isn't as realistic, but showing how the convenience factor is and the benefits on how customers will spend more time on those games, the analytics showing that they may spend more money on DLC or microtransactions and things like that. But I think his main function is kind of like what you guys said: the new hardware as well as the existing hardware. Any questions that they may have as far as from the dev kit standpoint, but also the seamless integration and transfer of files and being able to pick up where you left off, kind of thing. So
So
he's kind of like the one guy for it all kind of thing.
I was kind of thinking like this is a little tinfoil hatty, but the Asus handheld ROG Ally Xbox thing, that's
Mhm.
a Taiwan company. Can he not
Yeah.
say Taiwan because of the executives at Microsoft and be like, you can't say Taiwan because China thinks they own it and we get a lot of money from China?
Yeah, that is a weird thing now, especially considering with the tariffs that's made China more bolded or emboldened them a little bit more. So mentioning Taiwan at this point would probably put you on the outs where they're just going to steal your patents and your IP. Not that they would that would stop them from doing that anyway, but yeah, I was wondering why Taiwan wasn't mentioned, but that would be a good point as far as with Asus and stuff. Like, yeah, that might be a pissing somebody's Cheerios kind of thing.
Yeah, I was just like, because that's like their biggest like hardware news that's kind of coming soon is the RGLI Xbox thing or whatever. So
Samsung is a Korean company, right? Or is it
yeah,
Japanese? Samsung's Korean, and
LG,
then
Samsung is Korean,
yeah,
Asus, MSI or
Taiwan.
Taiwanese,
Yeah.
and then I forget what Legion or Lenovo. Well, I forget what Lenovo is.
They might be, I don't know, they might be Taiwan. I don't remember.
yeah, that's a good thought. Yeah, this could all be like third-party devices, third-party device stuff,
Yeah,
like new handhelds, new like technology that these companies are creating for the platforms, and maybe Ronald's talking about their ecosystem fitting on those devices.
this Lenovo's headquarters in Hong Kong. So
Yeah, Chinese. Yeah.
yeah,
I That's a good thought. I mean, it would make a lot of sense for Jason Ronald, right?
yeah.
It's kind of what they're
Yep.
doing. I saw it and I think of video games. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking, oh, okay, what other games they got? But yeah, it was
I'm
Jason
sure it's
Ronald,
like a
right? Yeah.
mixture. Like since he's like if he's the what is he the VP of next gen?
Next
I
gen.
think.
Hardware. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. And we know their next console is coming out, so we can kind of just put two and two together there. That um, the developers probably have the kits, and they're there to see like, hey, you've had the kits for a couple months. Do you have any suggestions? Do you have any call outs that could potentially inhibit your experience in developing? Because something that's a problem right now for Xbox when it comes to releasing games on the hardware is really honestly it's more so the fact that they are so aligned with PlayStation and their whole process in making sure that developers when they develop for consoles right now it's like they develop for Sony and then they kind of port it to the Xbox side of things. So kind of on the Xbox side, they just have to make it as seamless as possible because that's not going to change anytime soon, or um, or just make it so it's like hey, you could put your game on the Xbox. It's pretty easy also to port it to these other devices because the issue that the Xbox is going to run into in the future is like hey the fact that it's not just a console anymore, you're now porting Xbox games to so many other devices now. It'll be on TVs, it'll be on mobile devices, right? But that means as a developer, you kind of have to answer some questions and be like, hey, I know I'm putting my game on Xbox, but that doesn't mean I'm just putting my game on the Xbox now. I'm putting my game kind of on multiple devices at this point. With Xbox's vision kind of going forward, which is like Xbox Play Anywhere and stuff. So I'm sure like the meeting that Ronald had with the developers kind of dealt with those questions, and kind of had to answer like what it looks like, how are they responding to the dev kits for these consoles, what are the pros and cons kind of that, but I'm also sure there's a software side of it of seeing what these studios are working on and how they can possibly use the specs and tech that is in these consoles. And yeah, I'm sure it was like a mixture of both, honestly. Like the specs,
I mean,
getting information because I'm sure they have the dev kits, but also like, hey, this is where you can like.
this also comes back to like he said the future of Xbox, like he like looking for the future of Xbox. Like AMD also has a majority of their stuff in Taiwan. So you'd think if he's working on next gen consoles, he'd probably be going there a lot. Just saying.
Yeah.
Or at least having meetings with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Things are. I mean, the things are shaping up for just a crazy couple years ahead. I think. Like regardless whether it's games, whether it's hardware, whether it's platform changes. Like there was this, I was saw on Twitter earlier. Jez made post and for Windows Central, and talking about the Xbox app on PC just having some weird things all of a sudden just started showing up. Randomly, there's like old uh Windows Phone games showing up there. There's like some old Xbox console games showing up there, and none of it should be there because you can't access any of it from the PC right now, right? Or in general, but like, why is that all of a sudden just flowing into the library that you would have on your PC? And his speculation on the article that he had posted was about them ramping up for the changes of this convergence, basically what he's calling it, of Xbox, PC slash console turning into kind of one thing. And that's what we know a lot that they've been working on. They just had massive changes this week to the abilities for us on our apps on our phones to be able to finally be able to purchase games as well. And they're adding more remote play features for like PCs and stuff to where you can just go to the to the site like xbox.com/remote play, I think is what it was, and you can remote play from your console. You can buy your games for the apps. You can do all these different things. And what we talked about before, something I've been talking about quite a bit is that I feel like there's always this all hands on deck approach to ramping up to make all of this happen, and why we haven't seen some of the other updates some other people may have been wanting or hoping for, because if the hybrid idea for next gen is reality, if we are truly seeing this convergence to where console games will be playable on these PC like devices, right? Then that's a lot of functionality. Them talking about making the Xbox experience, everything feel like an Xbox, talking about the PC actually be like an Xbox, having the handheld devices we buy, like the Asus and all these other things, be like an Xbox, and all these things requires a lot of just changes within the UI, within the infrastructure of how the libraries work, of how features and functionality works between devices, and all these different kinds of things. Um, and also just what is playable on what kind of device. That's another just big time change. And so I've felt like they're behind the scenes, that is the next gen. And that is everything that they're doing to ramp up for this. And maybe that's why Ronald's having those meetings talking about that stuff and everything as well, right? But we've already seen it at GDC, we've already seen it at CES. I'm talking about this stuff. And now more evidence keeps happening from these things like the Xbox app on PC, and then the new changes with the mobile app and all this kind of stuff. The Asus thing's supposed to hit later this year. So we're seeing this evolution, right? About what Xbox is, and it's we've already seen it evolve. When Xbox originally went to PC for the first time, it's no longer just a console, right? Now it's console and PC. Then Xbox goes to the cloud. Okay, now you can access your games from all these different kinds of devices. Holy shit, my fridge is an Xbox. Remember that?
Yep.
All of these kind of things have been kind of implemented over time, and now they started kind to market it and do this, take it to the next step. And we're on the edge of this kind of evolution of all of that, where I think what they see it as is, when no matter what device we have, you'll pick it up and play it, you'll have access to all your games, and that's Xbox. Now, will you be able to buy a dedicated console that they sell to you to experience that? Yes. But there also will probably be an Asus one, a Lenovo one, or whatever, from other partners, and also those handheld devices. And it's going to be a crazy, wild couple years, man. Because with all these game releases coming out, all these changes coming out, all these things, all kind of at once, this is 2020. I think 2024 was the beginning of the announcement of these changes, right? With the third party stuff and all these things. But 2025 moving into like 2027, 2028 is going to be the biggest evolution that we have ever seen for Xbox. And that is in terms of gaming, an amount of games that we get to play, the quality and the massive amount of games that we get, but also how we're able to access them. And for me, I don't know. Some people, don't get excited for that stuff, but I love that. I love seeing the change and like fucking mix up the industry, man. Like fucking mix it up. Like we've been living in the same, whether it's console gamers living in the same world since the fucking 80s, and they're doing something different. People don't like it at first. I'm saying fucking mix that shit up and we'll see how the market responds.
Well,
But
they don't like it when Xbox does it. They like it
they
when
don't-
Nintendo or PlayStation.
Yeah.
yeah, it just said like everything that they're the thought process of everything that they could become is like a dream world kind of for a gamer, right? But it requires this change in order for that to happen. And I don't know, man. Like, am I overhyping the potential of how much things are going to change the next couple years? I have a tendency to do that. I know. I go a little bit grandiose.
We all do. We all do.
Yeah.
I think it's natural, man, because we know they're going to try to do something different. Now, whether or not it succeeds is always going to be up in the air, right? But for us, we're already bought into the ecosystem. We've already bought into what they are trying to do. I don't think being overhyped is a thing, because what they're going to do is enhance with their new lineup of handheld, console, cloud box, if they eventually put that out as well. Whatever this is going to look like, their next gen lineup, the fact that they're launching it, right? That the fact that they are launching these devices, that this is a reality, that we know it's a reality, they're going to enhance what they're trying to do with this Xbox Anywhere. And since most of us here, or all of us here, have bought into the fact that that is beneficial for us as gamers, and that we are getting more benefits out of it. Mav, you as somebody who's using the cloud a lot more than I think a lot of us are seeing even more of that too. But myself buying Lunar today because it was Play Anywhere, right? I was looking around at the stores where I was going to buy it, but it was Play Anywhere. So I get it on my console, I get it on my PC. But what they're doing for the future is just going to take that and push it even further from what they're trying to do, where we get to buy, again, one copy of a game and play it everywhere. Wherever we can access the Xbox app at, wherever we can access the cloud at, wherever we can access a direct piece of Xbox hardware or a partnered hardware, we're going to be able to play that game or those games. That library of games is going to come with us. Plus all the talk about the future, and the backwards compatibility and future proofing the games and bringing your whole library forward, all of that. That means I'm going to have access to my entire catalog of Xbox games anywhere that I'm able to log into and play them. And again, to me, if that's what they're seeking to do, as we've said all along, then yeah, I am hyped for it. If it is an enthusiast machine, if they are going to partner with third-party companies to make some machines of different levels, right, with different price points, whatever that turns into be, for me, that's going to still be something that is enticing. And again, how big that gets, well, that's up to debate, right? But I do think, once again, that they can strategically, and I think this is what they're thinking, they can strategically place themselves in a spot with a machine that does what the Steam machine tried to do in the living room, and bring in all your gaming to one spot, or at least a lot of it. Again, of course, Nintendo's not going to be there, and of course, it's going to be, PlayStation's, the PC side of things, whatever that's going to be. But they're going to try to do that, and they're going to try to include everybody in this machine. And if they can pull that off, then you are talking about something that could pull some people over, not to give up their PlayStation, not to give up their Switch 2 or the Switch, but to say, I need to add this to my living room, because there is that, oh my God, this is super cool. And again, then you throw in the AI, and we know that's going to be a big part of this next device,
Yeah.
whatever it is. And I think you've really got something special if they can get the games to, again, one version from a dev where that version plays across all of these devices. And I think that's another thing Ronald is selling to all these devs. We're going to make this so that one version of your game, you're going to have to make one version, and we're going to be able to put it on all these different devices. Really reduces the cost, reduces the risk to the devs, again, entices them to jump into this more. And I think this is what they are trying to do. So I think you're not overhyping it, Mav. It's just, do we know that all this is going to turn out to be true? Of course not.
Yeah.
Does this generation look like what we thought it was going to look like in 2020 when we started talking about this shit? No, it doesn't. It looks completely different. Like
We were
it's
all
like
caught up in
crazy.
RDNA 2s and 3s
Right.
and shit.
Hey, it's been crazy. So we know that nothing always goes the way we think it might, right? But some of it does. And I think that, again, that what Xbox is projecting right now as far as their future plans, I think we can kind of see the crystal ball a little bit of what they're going to shoot for. Again, whether or not they actually get there is a whole separate thing that we are going to have to wait and see. But because of what they're shooting for, and because we are here invested in this ecosystem, I think it's legit excitement, man, for the future of Xbox, no matter what at the end of the day, because they're not going to close the doors. They're not going to just shutter up shop and start selling off IP and start selling off, all these different studios. We know that for a fact. Now they're getting success in Transmedia, for God's sakes. So now all of a sudden, it's up the shareholders' impressions even more of what they got going on.
Which does amazing things for IP too. Like look what Sonic, fucking Sonic.
Yes,
Sonic. They hadn't had a great super amazing Sonic game in fucking forever. Sorry, Sonic fans. I also like Sonic, but let's just be real. That Sonic compared to Mario was 30 million versus what 3 or on copies sold per title or whatever, but Sonic is super popular now,
right.
And I think there's more desire for new Sonic games from fans because of that as well. So it's just interesting to see how it all works out with that.
Also, I think another point to the kind of the future of Xbox is they've always talked about game preservation, and they showed off that AI thing where it was redoing old games or whatever back in the day. So if they continue all that stuff, eventually we may get the entire Xbox One, or, the OG Xbox catalog someday. If they can just remake it all with AI.
Exactly. Which would be incredible for as much as people want to, again, there's valid reasons to complain about AI, but if they pull this off, Jasper, and they do revolutionize kind of what they're doing with it, and they introduce it in very beneficial ways, Jasper, that would be massive. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if they can do that? And they got partners like Sega, and you got all those old Sega games sitting there that haven't been brought forward yet, and they, you got these partners that are willing to re-release them in that version, through AI. Think about what that opens up to stores. I think about that, what that opens up to gamers down the road too, for us to be able to go back and play these games now on any system of choice. It's really a cool time, man. It's a really cool time.
Yeah.
Things are changing.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I'm a lot more optimistic about, Xbox's pipeline than Nintendo's or Sony's. Just of course, I'm invested in it. Yeah, that, right? But just the ecosystem that Xbox is I know, we always talk about change and what different customers are accustomed to. Whenever there's a new generation of Xbox, and the Xbox One's a perfect example of them introducing a new change, and people just kind of backlashing on it. But it's also how you message it. I think that's something they have to be cognizant of. If people can accept this next generation, but you have to market it correctly.
That's
And
what I was thinking is I was wondering if people were starting to get tired of all the AI talk. Are they going to dive? They're obviously going to put that as a selling point on there, but how much are they going to talk about that? Or are they going to focus more on no, we are a gaming company. We're making games. Yes, we have an AI chip, but that's just
Hmm.
something we have in it, or
They
how
may
much
they
you
may
actually
step
push.
back. I think maybe it could become like the Connect thing. Like they start it like overhype it in the beginning, and then maybe it kind of dies down. But I
But
mean, AI is making a ton of advancements in the tech space, so
the reason
I
I say
see it.
that is because like I think that they kind of saw that lesson with the last generation with ray tracing, where they fucking tried to nail that into you, and then everybody's like, I don't give a fuck. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say AI this generation compared to the last generation, like when they first was kind of boasting about at least the cloud, right? When they showed Crackdown 3 and was like, look at the power of the cloud. We have all this destruction with these buildings and stuff. Look what it could do. Oh, look in Forza, we can learn from behaviors of the cars. And it came out, it's like it's okay, it's not exactly what you kind of was presenting, but I think where AI is kind of heading now, I think it's made a lot more advancements, and I think technology wise, we're just in a really interesting spot. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of different AI things behind the scenes. I'm like, goodness gracious, it's definitely advancing very quickly. So I think because the public maybe they're a little bit hesitant towards it, maybe they'll hold off on it. But development wise, I only see
yeah,
AI advancing even further.
100%.
Yeah. So sorry,
Well,
3 you're wrong. It doesn't matter how Microsoft messages it. Xbox tax is real. They could. I mean, look, we all know about the Xbox tax. Yes, I made a whole post about it, right? But because they're in that spot, they still have to message it very, very well, in my opinion. They're in a good boat where they can now that it's not just about their console anymore. It's more so about their ecosystem. So I think once people become more comfortable with that idea that Xbox isn't just about the console anymore, it's more so about um ease of access on different devices, kind of like what Pong was mentioning, like just different devices you'll be able to play your game on, and what the advantages of that is. um, I think that's when you start. If you message that really well, then people will be like, "Oh shoot, all those pros are on the Xbox." If you have all these features on the Xbox and you just like you don't tell anyone about it, then yeah, that's bad messaging.
I'm just
Um,
imagining a day where like you're playing like your Xbox at home, and then you walk out your door and your phone goes gives you notifications like, "Hey, do you want to pick up your game on your phone?" And you're like, "No." And then you get to work or whatever. It's like, "Hey,
Correct.
do you want to pick up your game on your computer?" It's like,
Correct.
like let's
Yep.
go. That's a future I want to be a part of. So
Nope.
I mean, they're the only ones really bringing it to us now in some form or fashion. You know what I mean? To make it, I mean, seamless like that with their own first party titles. I mean, I can stream to my tablet, go switch to my console, hop on my PC. In 5 minutes, I could run between the three of them and boot up a game and just pick right up where I left off with every first party release that they have, and a lot of third party games are starting to take advantage of that now. So if that becomes every game, just imagine every game you can just pick up and play wherever, no matter where you are on any device. That's
yeah, I mean,
awesome.
the ultimate goal out of all these companies is to have you in their ecosystem as long as possible. So
Yeah, like why sell games to less people?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like an attractive like offer from Xbox. Hey, you bring it here. You're not just selling to, you know, as many people as we can sell a box to. You're selling to as many people we can sell a box to, plus as many people as have own PCs, as many people as have phones or tablets
TVs.
and TVs. Yeah, there was I saw somebody had posted an image that from their GDC conversations, right? And this was an image from some data of cloud gaming on Xbox, of usage of devices, right? And let's see if I can find it again. I
oh
think
yeah, I seen that. I seen that
yeah,
chart.
as a pie chart. It is a pie chart, and with the data was collected from December of 2024. Where did I see this? Yeah, it was you shared it, Fuzzy. Yeah, thank you. That's what I just saw it randomly pop up a little while ago. Thank you. And yeah, it said unlocking flexibility anywhere, right? So it's Xbox Cloud Gaming today. And this is an example of Cloud Game Pass gameplay distribution in December of 2024. Like 20%. It's pretty well divided, I would say, on devices overall, right? There's some that have smaller and then there's some that have bigger, right? But it looks like the biggest one was Xbox One consoles. So people from last generation are accessing cloud gaming more than any other device. And I think it's to play next gen games on the Xbox Ones.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which we said would end up happening, right? Earlier, like you'd be able to use those Xbox Ones to keep playing new game releases, even if you don't have a Series S or X, right? So that's the number one use. And to my surprise, number two is already smart TVs. And it's very even with Xbox One consoles. I mean, it might as well be, those are probably both 20% or more.
Froxa, can you show the chart? Is
Yeah,
it
can I
like
show
on
the
a-
chart? Yeah, here.
It would be interesting to see not percentage, but also like total users. Because if it's like 500 people, then it's like, okay, but
I was assuming it's the whole ecosystem, right? Of like everyone who's turned on
well, out of cloud
Xbox
users.
One
This is
there.
cloud users, yeah. This is
Oh,
just
out of
cloud gaming,
okay.
yeah. So the Xbox One
Wow.
consoles is the number one. Smart TVs is number two. Looks like about 20%, right? But then Windows PCs is also right there, about the same. So you have about roughly 20% of the users. And also you could look at Series X and S is really not too far. Really, the only one that's off between that is like the mobile desktops and other desktops, maybe Macs. I'm not sure, and or Linux devices or whatever, and then other devices, whatever that is, fridges and shit. I don't fucking know. But you have here a pretty even distribution on the main four. With the interesting thing, mobile, which I thought mobile would be higher, is actually a pretty small portion of the people that play on cloud gaming. But I think with the changes that they're doing with the with Apple and Google and the laws that are getting kind of pushed through and all that stuff, that might potentially grow quite a bit as well. But yeah, you have a pretty even distribution, and I was not expecting the smart TVs to be that high as yet. To be honest with you, like LG and Samsung devices are
Yeah, I
that have the apps.
I kind of figured those would be a little higher, but I don't know. Just I feel like the people on PC that play cloud games, they probably just get on for like 5 minutes to try out the new game and it's like, okay, I want that game or I don't want that game. Whereas I feel like TV people actually play the game.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I use it on mobile mainly, right? Because I use it on my tablet.
Because the TV stuff just, at least one of it just recently came out, so that's interesting statistics that like people are definitely jumping on Game Pass on the TV.
Shane says he uses your smart TV to stream at work, but like that's the thing too, because like the TVs it's only been on the newer series TVs too. So
Yeah,
as new TVs keep coming out over the years, and everybody ends up starting to have these TVs, capable, like that'll probably grow at some point. We're just seeing this kind of like this evolution, of that, and it's been the quality of it's been getting better and better. So, yeah, I was just a little caught off guard by seeing that chart. I didn't expect the ratios to be what they were. I would have actually, if you were to just ask me as like somebody who hasn't been paying attention, I would have expected like 50% mobile and then portions on the others. Right?
Yeah, I feel like mobile, like on your phone, is still not great because you have to like connect a controller, and then sometimes that can be annoying on phones. And then like some games, like you have motion controls, some games you don't. So like people don't know which games support that yet.
But they sold those like
like, touch
backbones and
Yeah.
like the Keyshis and all that stuff. So I was like, I expected people just to
But
look,
see, that's the thing is like with the phone is like you have to buy all these additional accessories, and like you have to have a good connection on your phone because like cellular's ass sometimes. So it's
Yeah, but
like
then
I don't know, phones just like
there's tablets too, though. Like,
Yeah.
how many kids have iPads and like little tablets? Like,
yeah,
huh?
kids don't care about Xbox though.
That's true. They're playing Minecraft or Roblox on the tablet probably. Yeah. So yeah, it's just interesting, man. Like to see that. But yeah, we'll see how that all transpires over time for sure. I did want to ask one more thing before we get out of here, everybody. So a lot of that variety interview with Phil was about Transmedia and about their success and what their plans are to do with it in the future. And since then, like Pong had mentioned, Minecraft became a crazy, whatever you want to call it. Jasper called it a meme the other day in the chat.
Yeah.
At this point, craziness going on with that movie, but it's been a very big success for them. We already know what happened with Fallout as well. A lot of the article was about that. Could they potentially revisit to actually own
Make a good
some,
Halo.
well, or even say, well, because of the success of this, and instead of just partnering with everybody, why don't we just fucking do this ourselves
Mm,
and
nah.
buy WB Discovery? Come on, guys, let's revisit it. They're
Oh,
in
maybe, yeah.
shambles. They're in shambles. We saw what happened reports came out not too long ago. Like WB was like, we suck. Yeah, we don't know what to do, but we have hope for the future because we fired our president. So we have a new guy now. So that's pretty much what their message was. Well, we made a lot of shitty decisions. Well, but we have hope for the future. I mean, they almost sold to Xbox before they ended up becoming or sold off the gaming side.
Yeah.
But like maybe you could only if you're to do it, you're only able to get the whole shebang now, right? No, man. Come
I
on.
mean, as of
do it.
3 days ago, Minecraft is at 550 million. That's gonna change a lot of freaking thought processes, especially after your success with Fallout, as well as a TV series with Amazon. And we speculated again. We'll go back years. You can go back and listen to our old speculation time when we were talking about WB Mav. My heart of hearts believe at some point Microsoft does get back into owning entertainment studios as far as TV and movies go. I think they jump back into that space. It's too important nowadays, and they've seen the success that Sony has using their IP. And so they are now, they've got some of the biggest and brightest IP out there in the video game space. A lot of it can be turned into Transmedia if it's not already being done. They have a great partnership with Disney now, and obviously what they did with Indiana Jones. And then to have back-to-back successes with two of your IPs, Fallout, which did turn around the franchise from a Fallout 76 standpoint for sure, reignited people to go back and buy and play Fallout games like 3 and 4 again. So they saw financial success on the video game side directly translated from the success of the TV series. Minecraft is already massive, but they turned that massive popularity into this thing, whatever you want to call it, that's generating huge monetary
I
value.
mean, it's not even just the movie. The fucking McDonald's shit is sold out.
It's sold out everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Their merchandising, which again, Minecraft is already massive in that department as well. But again, they're seeing that direct correlation there. So I do think, Mav, that you're onto something. I think that is a company like WB that has struggled, that is having struggles, that is having massive struggles and failures, but has this very valuable IP. I gotta believe there are some talks going on internally. Again, just my my vision, my fantasies are that there are talks going on. Like, hey, should we approach WB at this point? Is this something we want to jump into? Because you would instantly get the studios. You would obviously have to make some very hard decisions. There would be a clean out process. It would be a lot like Ubisoft. It wouldn't be pretty, but do you take that on? Because then you do get the studios. You already have massively established IP over there, both comic books, TV, movie, and video games that you bring in underneath the umbrella. And do you do something with it at this point? I think there has to be
And you
discussions
get a
that you have.
streaming platform.
Right. Bro, it's the complete package that we know they look for, Mav, when they're making acquisitions. And we've seen now the behind the scenes stuff too. Yes, they look for all different sides of acquisitions, but when they saw ABK, it checked off so many boxes. That's why they went and did it. And now that they're in this full mode, you know, there's no more secrets about where they're going. They're doing everything, right? They are fully put themselves out there. We are a third-party publisher. We're going to still do our own hardware, still going to do all this kind of stuff, but we are a third-party publisher now. There is no reason why you look at WB and how many boxes it does check. If that thought is now back in there, you know, in the top exec levels, that thought's back in there, that we can go do this, and we can also, as Microsoft, enter the entertainment space completely with TV and movies. I think you have to think about it, and I think there has to be some conversation.
And I'm going to throw this out there just to put this in perspective, what the possibilities of this could do, right?
Right.
Okay, so for as far as Max is considered, which is a very popular app, right? Has a lot of TV shows and movies that on there. They haven't been what they were before. I would say when there was everybody was like every HBO original was like the shit, right? They did the merger, WB and Discovery. They didn't seem like they know what to do with gaming. They're confused, right? Microsoft comes in. They have established biggest publisher in gaming now. They have successes with Transmedia, bigger successes than even Max has had themselves, or than DC has necessarily even had at recent times at the theaters, right? So you have this thing where you're just like, okay, we're having success with our IP and stuff. Now, what if we had more IP? What if we had a platform that with experienced people that have all the connections with all of the production studios and all these other kind of things, relationships there, to where now we have more partners to make things and content for all of our IPs. We can then make more games off of the WB Discovery stuff. We get the talent from those studios. We get the talent from our studios that can also work on those things. Plus also, imagine this. Everybody that has Max, that uses it as a streaming platform, every subscriber that they have. Well, what does Netflix do? Netflix has the option to stream games as well. But what does Netflix not really have? A lot of IP that's really good for games. But imagine Microsoft actually was able to put into the Max app access to cloud streaming your Xbox games and everything straight from the fucking HBO or Max app on everybody that already has that shit installed. It's just all of a sudden gaming stuff starts showing up for all the WB Discovery stuff, all of the fucking Xbox stuff that's cloud gaming is possibly accessible there. Oh, what if you include a tier? Okay, you get Max Ultimate or whatever,
a discounted add-on for Game Pass Core, or Game Pass Ultimate. Yeah,
you talk about a convergence there of media between games and movies and shows, but also you're enhancing both of them. You're not, you're enhancing the Max and the side, because now all of a sudden they have access to all the IPs that Microsoft has, which they have a plethora. And then also now you have the reverse side, where the gaming, you have all these studios and all these partners that you have, and you have access to DC. You know what I mean? And other stuff that they're doing. And also, hey, The Last of Us is on there too, so you'd have control of that.
That would be really fun.
It just,
The
I
only
mean, it's a far fetched idea, right? But you know, you got to imagine that they got to be trying to think about this kind of stuff. It's a lot easier to buy them than create your own.
They
the only
have a
thing
whole
I'll
they have a whole real quick. Sorry, Jasper,
yeah,
I'll
you're
let you
good.
go. I talked a lot. I'm just saying internally you when you think about when you say something like Mav, well, they gotta be having these conversations, right? And I say, well, it's my fantasy or whatever. I mean, it's how it plays out in my head. But again, they have a group of people within Microsoft whose job is to forecast out 30 years, right? They pay these people a ton of money to read crystal balls, and a part Xbox and that division is now a main pillar within Microsoft. So it's included in that. So they are forecasting out the entertainment world at this moment. They have to be. They have to be looking at that. They have to be looking at what AI is going to do to the entertainment world. They have to be trying to think about what that future is going to look. And they have to, again, to your point, Mav, and what I was saying, if you're going to project out, whether you're projecting out 5 years or whether you're projecting out 30 years, you would have to think that they are looking at stuff to be able to take those roads there at some point. And if a company like WB is viable as far as acquisition goes, it's in a good spot to be acquired because of unfortunately their bad choices. And it gives you all these boxes that are checked off for everything that you're going to need to get there. Then yes, I do think it is happening now. I think those conversations have to be happening at this point. Sorry, Jasper, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I think when it comes to all these TV services, I think it's a little risky for them to like. I think they're looking at it as a risk factor because if you look at all these TV streaming services, they're all in like oh we're losing subscribers, we're losing money here. So like none of them are really doing that hot the last few years anyway. So like maybe they'll be hesitant to try to get into that. I don't know.
But if they can use it as a way to enhance the value of all of the property that they have, I think,
Yeah,
and
but
it's
it's a
like
big risk up
it
front because it's
is.
going to be a multi-billion-dollar thing, and they're like, shit's already losing money. Can we turn this around?
But the question is then, Jasper, like how much of that is considered in the value that they're purchasing, right? Would it be that big a risk if they just look at that and say, okay, well, if the streaming service doesn't, you know, if it doesn't, if it doesn't catch fire or if it doesn't grow, what's the problem with just shutting it down? Right? What's the problem? We still have the studios. We're still going to make shows. We're still going to publish shows. We can actually add a tier to Xbox itself as part of our huge ecosystem that includes our movies and TV shows, right? And we could add that tier, and that would be our streaming service, and people could buy into that. And I think that that's what you'd have to look at from Microsoft's standpoint. How big a risk is it, or how big a percentage of the acquisition are they counting the streaming service, or is it more about the IP that they're going to be able to use? Is it more about the studios that they're going to be used? Is it more about the people that you acquire that are already experts in a lot of ways in those entertainment fields? Whereas before, when Xbox was trying to do it, they were trying to start from scratch and bring people in. You've already got a built-in TV movie complete network that you can go to and start making IP right away, right? So I think that would be the
I mean,
question there from their
yeah,
standpoint.
but I'm just like from their standpoint though, like I would see, I mean, just coming like from what I know of like random business and how they acquire shit, I would think that the streaming service would be like the more valuable side of that, just because they have recurring revenue and they get all the data off people.
Well, which we know
So
Satya loves.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Right. But yeah, I agree. Like there's a
Yeah.
cost there, but also when
Yeah.
you're incorporating that within the infrastructure of under the umbrella of Xbox, Windows, and all that kind of stuff, it can maybe change a little bit about the structure of it as well.
I mean,
you know?
they consider buying them before, so there's a reason for that, right? Because either that's the gaming studios or the IP that comes with it. I always thought it would be interesting because beforehand, Amazon for like they considered them competitors, right? For a minute. And then what happened? They made a show together, you know. So you never know
well,
what's going to happen. Yeah,
when
go
they
ahead.
consider them competitors, it's not like just because they're both making TV shows or games or whatever. It's the server cloud infrastructure. They know that's their
Yep.
competitor for that.
Yeah, but for a while we were like, they're not going to work together, you know. And they did, and I think in terms of partnerships, it could go several ways. Like Warner Brothers is one conversation. I know like something we speculated on before is like, what if in the future for Prime shows, they connected because Prime has all these really cool features. Like you can see the casting lists, you can see like who's in the scene, X-ray, whatever. Like, what if they end up using that for the shows, like in Fallout, like oh, this is actually a scene from the game. Click here to go straight into the Game Pass, and now that it's connected to the TV app, that cross media functionality could really grow with their partnerships um even further, right? If they have the Minecraft movie on Prime, for example, like jump straight into Minecraft through the game. I could see that happening in the future. But with Warner Brothers, I mean, Warner Brothers is just an interesting example just because they tried to purchase them before, but now they are in financial struggle. They keep canceling movies for tax reasons, selling it out. This is doing really shady, dumb stuff. And then their games, I mean, they didn't like Suicide Squad, or they thought that didn't do very well. And their movies aren't doing super well, but they have a plethora, as Matt said, of IP, right? And IP that they can use. So they just have to, like, well, Jasper's kind of hinting at, like, they have to just see if it's worth it financially because if you buy Warner Brothers, you are absorbing debt. Like that's just the way it is. Like, is that worth it? I think so, just because you would own Batman, right? You would own you would own maybe the licenses. It depends on what
Harry Potter, Batman. I mean,
Harry Potter,
all
Batman.
of DC. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
Superman.
like you have
Yep.
some of the biggest names in media entertainment, like in history.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy to think about everything.
So it's
that
like
they have.
you basically like, yeah, you're absorbing debt, but you would have Superman. So it's like maybe it's worth it because there's a lot of the fact that Microsoft is able to do these transmedia stuff so successfully, at least with these two different franchises being Minecraft and Fallout. Halo's another story, but I think it'll interest them further. Like they have so many IP already, and I think they could
I
start
mean,
looking at
the
that.
conversation that we were having, like pretending to be CEOs about, like, yeah, we could do this with it. I mean, you've sat in these kind of meetings before, 3-bit, with your kind of
Yeah.
companies that you work with and stuff. So, like, I'm sure you
Usually
sat
it's
in a meeting with
fucking-
these billionaires and millionaires, and they're all talking about all this business stuff, and you're like, I just want to make the game or make the art.
Usually in those meetings, it's like, can we do this? They're like, I don't know, I gotta ask this person, and then they ask, they're like, hey, can we do? It's a circle.
Right. Yeah. Let's move it up the
of
food chain a
licensing.
little bit. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be it just the possibility of it just racks my brain about, man, like you could do so much cool stuff within.
The only
Why don't
other
we go get
thing-
Disney
things
at this point?
converge.
And Fuzzy, say why we should go get Disney. Just go get Disney. Screw WB. Just go buy Disney.
I was looking at the values of all of them.
So was I.
Of course.
So was I, Fuzz. I was
Disney,
How much is
Disney would make more sense for the big picture.
right.
WB wouldn't be
massive.
bad, but they would have to take a lot of resources to kind of reorganize that ship to,
Correct.
one, clear that debt, and two,
Yep.
make those IPs make money for them. It's not something that they would easily be able to do like tomorrow kind of thing. So we're looking at taking, was it 20 billion plus? So you buy it for 40. Because you can't just buy WB. You're better off buying Discovery and everything else that's including the whole deal. You spend 40 billion, you're probably going to have to spend another 5 to 10 billion getting everything reorganized, clearing the debt, and then
That's also not
So
counting legal
Microsoft-
costs, because someone's going to try to block it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would Microsoft own Disneyland?
What, they bought Disney?
Yeah, they
Yes,
would.
They would. Yes, they
Yeah.
would own the theme parks.
That
They
would be
would probably
pretty cool.
spin that off to a different company to take
Yeah.
over running it because they wouldn't
Yeah.
want anything to do with that. I don't
We'd
think
have
so. But
Phil
That's freaking
Spencer Island over there. And,
well, no, I was gonna say you could move Spill to like the Microsoft CEO of media. You keep Phil around for even longer. Like
They
give him
just cut
another
off
position.
Walt Disney's head statue and put Satya's on.
just like replace all the Mickey Mouse shit in Disney World with Master Chief.
Yeah.
And just see
Master
how people
Chief.
react.
I mean, I would go there. Heck yeah.
I mean, Disney, I think they would be able to get a faster return on investment.
Yeah.
WB, they would have to put some time and extra effort into it.
But what's
I
Disney?
think
Disney is
200 billion plus.
Disney's crazy.
They're
expensive.
153 billion right
Yeah.
now at market
Yeah.
cap. So you'd be looking at like a 200, 250.
And also, they'd probably say
Yeah.
no. They're not interested in selling.
Yeah.
You know, like
You could do
They would be like, "You want to buy our theme parks?"
partnership.
A partnership. Yeah, partnership. Yeah, something like that.
But even better for that, although they are a much more expensive thing to even think about acquiring because their value has gone up a lot since more recently, would be Netflix. But do a deeper partnership where you convince them enough to get rid of their gaming thing and replace it with Game Pass, but still keep some of the contracts that they have for their arcade or their streaming service for games, incorporate that into Game Pass as well, and then offer bundles of Game Pass and Netflix and whatnot. Also, make them your go-to. Like keep a lot of their studios, since the studios that they use or the production companies that they use or that they own to make IP movies or series is worthwhile. So Amazon would be the best one, but that you're not going to get a $2 trillion company or a $3 trillion company to merge with a $2 trillion company and have it go over.
No,
But you can get a $500 billion company to merge with a $3 trillion company as long as it's not
there's no overlap.
that much overlap, and each one of them fills a niche that the other one needs. Like Netflix needs servers, Microsoft has servers. They no longer have to rent ones out. You want a full-fledged gaming, well, not gaming, but full-fledged movie and TV series service. Microsoft could use that, and they have a better gaming service. Although I don't know if the FTC would be weary of that because of them getting rid of the existing Netflix one and then just basically merging the two. But I think honestly for Microsoft, they would probably look at that first, because WB would be a lot of work. Like it would be like a fixer-upper house kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Microsoft wants to deal with that right now. Disney would be cool, but like you said, they spinning off the amusement stuff, and then you have the whole memorabilia stuff that goes well with the amusement stuff. So if you spin off the amusement stuff, you're still selling your licensed goods at those locations, and whoever buys that amusement stuff, like the parent company of Six Flags or whatever, I don't know if they'd be as happy with that.
I don't know if people want the amusement parks because they've been losing money for like the last few years too. So like,
yeah. Well, COVID kicked their butts, but after
Yeah.
COVID, they got a bump. Well, I think it was all but Six Flags got a bump. All the other ones have been doing better, but they're not like 2018 better or 2015 better.
What's crazy is Disney was worth double during COVID. Like in 2021, they were like $180 some a share. Right now, they're like $80 some a share. It's nuts. Even though their theme parks were tanking, like their stock was
Yeah.
up because obviously the rest of the services were going through the roof. Disney Plus was going through the roof at that time, so that was why.
And then they introduced that new movie thing that you could have as part of the renting service, and then the add-on. But now they're trying to make it so you have to go to the theater. And I mean, it's good in one way, but then it's revenue that they're kind of scaving off for what they feel is a bigger one in the theater type of deal. But yeah, Microsoft definitely needs some sort of media outlet as far as for movies and TV, or one that they can at least partner with. Personally, I would like them not to own it, because it would take focus away from other stuff. I think, like, as big as that company is and as many employees as they have, it's almost like, well, we're still focused on AI, we're still focused on gaming. Hey, let's add TVs and movies into that, and then something's going to suffer. And I don't think it's going to be AI, because they're trying to do that whole quantum computing thing as their next, split off for AI. And gaming is starting to show them that it is really valuable and the revenue it's earning. So I don't know. It's a tough call, but like I said, WB wouldn't be bad. Just a lot of work, a lot of money invested, a lot of time. It might take like 4 to 6 years to see a return worthwhile for that, 40-ish billion that they may have to pay to own it out and stuff. So
Hey, just put us in charge of it. We'll make them make some cool shit, and everything will be fine.
That's the
You
one
know.
thing that I hope they don't learn out of this Minecraft movie lesson is the Minecraft movie is so bad and they just like it's not even like anywhere remotely accurate to the games. Everyone just goes to it because of the fucking one scene, chicken jockey. That's the only reason people are fucking going to this fucking movie. Like, don't make just meme shows and movies. Actually make something decent, please.
Man, yeah. It's a shame. But
Doesn't matter where it comes from, brother. It's making money. The shareholders are happy. That's all that
Yeah.
matters.
So they're probably having meetings.
know.
How can we implement chicken jockey into everything we do?
don't be surprised if there's a chicken jockey game in a couple of years. A separate spin-off from Minecraft or something.
oh, man.
Coming to
Chicken
Game
Jockey
Pass.
DLC.
Chicken jockey racing coming. All right. Well, everybody, this was a fun show. Good conversations, and lots of interesting things coming out soon and everything. But I also want to get to these super chats because you guys were super engaged with this topic specifically. But shout out to Brett Bingham with a $5 super chat. He said, "Yes, get all of WB so we can get the Halo series we were promised. No Paramount and Master Cheeks. Peach, peach, peach." Yes. Hey, man. Just imagine the cool shit we could get. Nate Dog says Looney Tunes. I fucking forgot about Looney Tunes, man. You could have some cool fucking Looney Tunes stuff, man. Like, oh god, I just can imagine all the studios, all the different people being able to have access to those IPs that they've been. I mean, DC doesn't hardly make any fucking games.
Yeah.
We see
Like a Gears show,
quite a bit of Marvel stuff get announced and stuff. Disney's going out there making deals with third-party companies, but DC's only focus on the few studios that they have to be able to produce their games. Really,
And they just killed Monolith, so
it's just like I do it for the good of us as gamers. We deserve some good DC games. Come on. All right, ya baby Fava with the $5 super chat says, "Great topic, great conversation, guys. I've been brainstorming a WB acquisition for fun for quite some time. Microsoft owning DC alone would blow my mind."
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely. This is something this conversation originally got brought up like a few years ago when these rumors
3
first
years
started.
ago.
And
Acquisition season.
Yeah, acquisition season time, and then like talking about the possibility of that happening and what that could mean and everything, and
And we were right.
Yeah,
It was on the wish list. It was on Phil's wish list. So we
it
were right.
was.
And it would have been fantastic if ABK had not come along. It would have been freaking fantastic, brother.
Yeah.
Would have been.
Anyway, all right, guys. Absolutely great conversation. Appreciate you all being here. Chat, you guys rock. Thank you all for watching tonight's version of Xbox Ultimate Podcast. This was not a remaster or a remake. It was an original. 3-bit. Tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
Hello, everybody. Great show. You guys are killing it in chat. Poison, shout out to you. Always doing a great job moderating and whatnot. Everyone can find me on the bluest of skies at i3bit. Every Sunday, Pixelated Echoes. With me and Fuzz just talking it up. Been really busy these past few weeks. Been doing trailers for an upcoming movie. I'll be able to talk about it. Maybe next week or the week after. We'll see. Pretty soon I'll be able to talk about it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Great show, y'all, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Right on, man. Thanks as always, bro, for being here, especially on a Friday night. Fuzzy Belvedere, what about you, sir?
As always, greatly appreciate being on here with you guys. Always love hanging out and talking games and industry stuff and speculating what we got coming in June. Yeah, I gotta clear that backlog a little bit more before we get whatever they're on drop on us come June. But shout out to everybody in the chat. Thanks for joining us. Please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. We greatly appreciate the support. And like 3-Bit said, check us out on Sunday for Pixelated Echoes, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. Other than that, everybody play some games, enjoy your time with family for the holiday, or if you have kids that are off next week, spend time with them as well. Have them chip away at your backlog of games, but yeah, just have fun, relax, be safe, and see you guys on Monday.
Right on, man. Thank you, Buzz. And Lore Jasper, what's up? Tell everybody where they can find you.
Yo, check it out. Lord Jasper Twitter, all that fun stuff, or X, whatever you want to call it still. And then Mondays, FSP, and Fridays, Xbox Ultimate. That's where I am. That's what I do. And then, just having a life now, so I don't get to play games. So,
Yeah. It's welcome to the real world, bro. It's a madness.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
And one and only Pong Soul, thanks for being here tonight, bro. And tell everybody where they can find you tomorrow morning, especially.
Tomorrow morning. But no, glad I could make it. Sorry I was a little bit late, guys. But great to be here. Surprised to see 3-Bit, and I just did mention you, 3-Bit, and I'm so happy to see you again, hear your voice again, brother. So I'm glad you're doing well, and I did seriously ask Mav if you were okay, because I have missed you, man. So great to have you here. Jasper, great to see you again, brother, joining us when you can as well from space, man. Appreciate you so much. I appreciate your thoughts, and of course, the usual trio of Fuzzy, Mav, and myself. Fuzzy and Mav, of course, brothers. All love, man. Great to be here on a Friday night. Chat, you guys were absolutely incredible. Coming into a holiday weekend for many people. If you do celebrate Easter, please have a great one. However you're spending it, happy Easter to all. But you guys know how to find me, Pong, so everywhere. And then, of course, tomorrow morning, like Mav said, it's going to be living split screen. That's right. Split screen is all one word. Myself, my brother from another Steel Rain, will get down to business. The hype train leaves at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time. Steel's been on one this week. If you're not following him on X, man, he's been going after Destin. He's had some interesting shout outs and conversations about things. So I know tomorrow is going to be a fun one. We're going to have a lot going on in our chat. If you guys haven't been there before, our chat does dictate what we talk about a lot. We will go sideways and spend an hour on something that the chat's talking about. So please join us tomorrow morning. Again, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time, living split screen, 3+ hours. Buckle up and get ready. We will be there. And then, of course, the Shop Podcast is still on hiatus for right now. So please continue to keep your eyes and ears open. And if you got an extra second, please keep PTK and his family in your thoughts and prayers. However you do that, send him some love, send him some energy. He did make it public today. His son is in the hospital still, so please do that for him. But we will be back at some point, I imagine, because PTK does miss doing the show. We miss being with him. And Mav told me last night that this man's out here on TikTok. I don't do TikTok, but supposedly PTK is a star on TikTok now, showing his face and everything. We don't do faces on the Shop Podcast, but he's doing it on TikTok. So go follow him there and check out what he's doing. Other than that, next week it starts all over again. Double Barrel Games, the channel, Boomsticks to Man, 5 days a week, but Tuesdays it's all good things green. Check out that crew for the Xbox Factor podcast, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time. And then otherwise, my week will start right here on the Fun Speculation Network with this dude, Mav, for a PM in the PM, Pong and Mav in the PM on Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time. This week might be late because it is month end, but we will see. Otherwise, everybody, it's the golden age of gaming. Whatever you're playing, wherever you're playing, I don't care what it is. You got 1,000+ games right now. Enjoy them. Play what you love what you play. And I'll talk to y'all real soon. Mav, get us out of here, brother.
Thank you, sir. Hey, shout out to Poison Maniac. Thanks for putting all those links in the chat, dude. Super appreciate it. Everybody, you rock. Thank you all for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. I will be doing a stream at some point, Wreckfest, because I needed to get to it and I want to play it. But yeah, tune into that. I will share out when I'm going to be going live. Other than that, Monday we'll be back for FSP, and then Thursday, PM in the PM. Friday, Xbox Ultimate Podcast. Have a good one, everybody. Peace out. Take it easy. Good night.
Bye, y'all.